Okay, so I really don't have a lot of time for this video, like at all. But I just want to get it out before I forget, because I think it will be really, really helpful for anyone who has sarcoidosis, and that means literally anyone. So I really wish that I started it in the beginning, but I actually didn't start it until I waited like a good year before I started. But keeping track of your symptoms, and I'm sure that you've heard this, but for a really long time, I kept saying I was going to remember. I kept saying I would remember, not thinking or not realizing that I would get so many more symptoms down the line. I didn't realize that how many problems I would run into and how many other complications would come up. And it got really confusing. Like, I already had a binder full of all of my everything from all different doctors, but when it came to like my symptoms, I really, really wish I just had like a notebook from day one with how I felt every day. There were a few times like in the beginning where I would try and put it in my notes app. I don't know. I'm not very good with like the whole notebook thing. So for me, what worked was I began making videos. I began making videos of myself, how I looked, and I made these videos for myself, but it was really helpful because I was able to go back and watch these videos and realize like just how sick I was. Or my biggest thing was I would gaslight myself a lot. I would be in so much pain, like so much pain. And then later on, when I'm feeling fine, I would convince myself that it wasn't that bad, or maybe it was in my head. And I did this like a lot. Obviously, it was never in my head. I really was going through all of this, but because of how crazy things can look with sarcoid and how things are always changing, so I'm saying this because if I could go back, I would go back to beginning it from the very beginning. And these videos help me to this day. So it doesn't even have to be a long video, or it doesn't even have to be like a lot of notes. Like, just write how you're feeling. For me, the reason why I didn't write it is because for me, I had so many different pains that it was just easier to say it. And especially when it came to like my rib pain, I wouldn't have been able to find the words for that. So it was just a little bit easier for me to like talk to myself and just talk about like what my symptoms were that day. And I have some days where I'm fine and I'm just talking about how I'm fine and what I did. But these videos were really good for me because I was able to tell, especially with like, I don't know, let's say like the food I was eating or anything like that. I was able to fully tell because I had these videos explaining every symptom. I even point to it. I didn't do these videos every day because my phone would not, there's no way. I'm already over in storage. But when I would have like my really, really, really bad symptoms or anything like that, I would make sure I started documenting it. Because again, like I said, I would just gaslight myself, and I really did not believe that I was that sick. Or, you know, the real reason why you need to be doing it is because when you're going to all of these doctors, even if you're not going to any doctors at the time being, you have no idea what is going to happen in a few months to your body. So I kept thinking, oh, it's not going to get worse, or like, it can't get worse than this, you know? And no, like, it definitely got worse. But it made it harder for me because I would go into these doctor's offices and I would be just as confused. And I get it. I was confusing them with all my symptoms. So it's just a little bit more, you're going to end up helping yourself out if you could do this. You're going to avoid like a huge headache because it was a lot when you don't know, like when you don't have the answers and you don't remember. And it's crazy that I used to think that I would remember, considering back then is when my memory was really bad, like really, really bad. Like I was having such neurology problems that you could tell me something and I would immediately forget. And I mean immediately. Like I thought it was really, really scary. So the fact that I thought I would remember is kind of my own fault. But yeah, but this is what helped me. I don't want to ramble, but I just want people to understand how important it is and how much it's going to help you. Because if you don't, you're going to be like me. And to this day, things get really confusing still because I don't fully remember how things were. And it's going to be crucial. So, all right. Bye-bye.